Hello, sunshine. Hello. Right, random stream. Thought I'd just do one because I didn't do one last Tuesday. So I thought, I'm bored. I'm just going to go on. Talk about a couple of things that kind of caught me eye this week. One was about Chrome, and then had some inspiration from one of my followers on Twitter, Screen Foo. So shout out to him. He spoke about his own introduction to Johnny Cage into the Mortal Kombat film sequel. So we'll go over something like that. We'll go over my idea. All right, Lou, that's unexpected. I didn't expect you to come in. Thanks for dropping in. So yeah, I'll be going over the Chrome character, the fan-made character that everyone kind of knows and they really want in a Mortal Kombat game. But Ed Boon seems to be like, no, not going to do it. No one seems to really know why. It's probably because it's not his own creation and he's a bit uptight about it. You never know. So what I want to do is get into my own backstory. I want to do my own backstory for Chrome using what we've already got in the games already. So, of course, buddy. Thanks. So yeah, when it comes to like created characters, not many seem to get over. There's literally thousands, millions. There's probably millions of them. You know, I've got one that I'd like to make, and it's based on like the Tony Jaa character from what's it called? Oh, flipping out. Basically, one of the old Tony Jaa characters. I'd like a Thailand fighter, Thai boxer to shine in Mortal Kombat as well. And my idea for him is that he also has kind of like the Liu Kang fight element going on. But I'll get into that another time. But what I'm trying to get over is people have so many of their own different characters, their own created characters, that not many get through to everybody, for everyone to go, oh, we'd love that. But this character, this Chrome character, was really a mistake. I don't know the toy company, but they do like models. Like I don't know if it's resin or something, but they do these like models of like characters from games and films or whatever. But they brought out like a classic human smoke model, and there was something went wrong with the paint job, and instead of it being like a chalk smoke color or grey, it come out chrome, and everyone was like, oh, is this a new character? It's like, it looks chrome, and everyone thought, chrome? Oh, chrome, wicked. So everyone just like jumped on board that. So everyone's like, oh, it'd be wicked to have like a T1000 style character in the Mortal Kombat universe. So everyone was like, is this like a new character reveal? An accidental reveal? And it ended up not being anything but a mistake. But it's one of them mistakes that you think it could actually work, but I don't see many people actually having a backstory to the character. So I was thinking the other day, yesterday. I thought it was yesterday. I think it is. No, day before. No, yeah, the other day. Yeah, because I was at work. And I thought, right, maybe it needs a bit more backing, like a bit more of a backstory. I don't see many people do backstories for this Chrome character. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do my own. But I'm going to try and, again, worm it into the games that we've already got. So I'm going to get into the backstory now. My backstory, my Chrome backstory. So I'm going to go all the way back to when the Lin Kuei, the the clan, was well into their cyber initiative of transforming all of their assassins into cyber ninjas. And you go through the Skynet Terminator route, where they just want to evolve and do things more, do things better, do things different. This is kind of what the Lin Kuei were doing. So instead of like sacrificing their own ninjas for experiments, they would just snatch, kidnap, or take people from the streets or whatever to do experiments on. Failed or not, they would use that data to push on and advance it. So they come across this one guy, and they kidnap him, and the experiment was going to be like nanotech. So they dip it into nanotechnology, and they wanted to infuse abilities into normal people. So say that the Lin Kuei ninjas, some of them don't have abilities, they're just normal. They wanted to delve into giving people abilities, like manufacturing them, making them up. So this nanotechnology, they would they would use to try and give people these abilities, and then some would fail. So there'd be like literally hundreds and hundreds of these experiments that would fail, and the one they come across was tried to infuse metal with human. And of course, again, they'd think it failed. So basically, my version of this Chrome was a failed experiment. So what did I do with these failed experiments? For other clans, if there's any other uprises, they would try to hide or try to destroy or hide, and not let their experiments be discovered by others to try and take on. So what would they do? My idea is that experiments they would throw into the bottomless sea of blood. So if you've played Mortal Kombat 11, you know that there's a sea of blood that's bottomless. So all their failed experiments would be thrown into the sea of blood. So that would be my explanation as to why we've not seen any of their other experiments. So they could use that. So when it comes to the Chrome character, you could say they tried to do the same with this one. So they'd infuse this guy with this metal, with the nanotechnology. And if you could picture in Spider-Man 2, is it Spider-Man 2? No, sorry, Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3, where you got Sandman, where he's essentially turned into sand, and you see him trying to pull himself together. So there's nothing human about him anatomically, but he's trying to pull himself together. So this is the inspiration I had for the character Chrome to try and pull himself together. So after he's been thrown as a liquid that's just all over the place, he can't control himself, so it's like a liquid. So they just dump it into the sea of blood, and it's sinking like a proper lead weight, metal straight down, bottomless. And because it's not human anymore, obviously this thing doesn't need oxygen, so you could say you can't suffocate or whatever. So it's been diving for so many years. It's been falling and everything else. So Chrome, during this time of his sinkage, I should say, it's trying to fight to get back up to the surface or slow its descent. So the longer it goes on, the more it can control itself over time. So it's starting to develop, to try and push itself back up, and it's forming a humanoid form. So over the course of many years, the Linkway, they don't really care about their experiments that they get wrong. They just discard them, and they just don't care. They move on to the next one. And you could say this would be their downfall. So Khrome is not essentially a good guy or a bad guy, just a neutral who wants revenge on the Linkway for what they've done to him. Oh, Lou, I'm going to have to shoot, buddy. Best of luck. I'll rewatch it. That's okay. That's fine. I know this is so random, and I've done it too late. But I thought, I'm bored. I'll just come on. But yeah, you can watch it anytime. Thanks for coming on. See you soon. Your view is mine. So where was I? Yeah, so the character, my version of Khrome would be a neutral. Vass has just come on. I'm currently watching Doctor Strange, but hello. I'll be in and out. That's fine. Again, I've just done this because I'm bored, and I'm, I just thought I'd do it. It's going to be, things are a bit hectic at the minute, so it's going to be hard to do a Tuesday stream. So I'm just going to have to do random streams, and if one person watches, they can rewatch it. I'm just going to carry on doing my thing. But yeah, I've got inspiration to do a stream, go over the Khrome character, my version of the character, and again, Screen Fu, who's recently following me, and he's an up and comer on YouTube. He wants to build himself up. He does mini videos as well, so shout out to him. He gave me the inspiration to do a video on Johnny Cage, his introduction to the Mortal Kombat sequel, which I already had my own. I thought, I'll talk about that, because doing another shout out, Future Boy Kamikaze, he actually did a video based on my story of the Johnny Cage prelude, basically my version of the Mortal Kombat Legacies, their episode. So I did my own. So I'll be going over that after I've gone over this Khrome idea. So yeah, back to Khrome. So eventually, Khrome would reach the surface of the Sea of Blood, and he'd be pissed. Now he knows how to use his abilities. He comes out knowing what to do. Now he's spent years in the Sea of Blood. You could say on the way down, there's people that have fallen in, other creatures, and they're like bones because they've been there for centuries. So the Sea of Blood it's an interesting concept, because you could have actually like an aqua character who can go in, transverse from the Sea of Blood and land. That's opened up that area as well. So it's an interesting concept to me by itself. But anyway, Khrome comes up. He's pissed. He's taken his humanoid form that he kind of was like before, and he has a proper vendetta against the Linkway. But of course, the Linkway, not knowing, they don't really care for their failed experiments, so they just don't know that, or care that something could come back. They just think, Sea of Blood, he's gone, or it's gone. Chris German, evening humans. Again, Chris, I'm sorry for doing this really late. This is just so random. I just thought I'd come on now because I was just so bored. And I haven't got work tomorrow, so I could be up as late as I want. So this stream could last about 10 hours. So that's why I've kind of like left it as an open discussion. So anyone could just throw out a topic and we, could discuss it and whatever. I don't think I'm going to be sleeping tonight. I haven't had much sleep anyway. So I can take my time with this one. So if even if you want to come on and just have a chat, we can do that. But right. So yeah, Chrome's vendetta against the Lin Kuei would be my introduction to the character in a Mortal Kombat game universe. Failed experiments by the Lin Kuei using nanotechnology on kidnapped people before they use it on all their assassins, because they're not just going to use their assassins for experimental purposes. They're going to want to keep them because otherwise they're going to have no one left. So like when the Lin Kuei used to steal children to train up with abilities, for their own clan, they've gone back to their old ways of actually kidnapping people now and experimenting on them. So this kind of would make the Lin Kuei even more dark and dangerous, because they're being random now. They're going into experimental phases, just like Skynet, and I see them as more dangerous now, being random. The Cyber Initiative, you kind of knew what they were doing. They were turning their assassins into cyborgs. But now that they're going into experimental phases, it could be anything. So, now they've come up with like a nanotechnology, and their nanotechnology they infuse with what they want their experiments to be infused with. So, when in terms of Chrome, it's a form of metal. It might not be a human metal. It could be a another realm's metal. So or alloy. So it doesn't have to be of Earth, because they're scouring, all the realms for these different elements that they could infuse their own assassins with. But instead of just using their assassins, they're experimenting on people now. So there we go. So Chrome, being a failed experiment of nanotechnology infusion, element infusion, it's this one, Chrome, has come back to bite them back in the arse, basically. Because as these latest games have shown, it seems like the Shiro Ryu and the Lin Kuei have kind of formed a truce. And I want some bad guys again. So you could have Sub-Zero turn nasty. He could be, I don't know, he could want to evolve the Lin Kuei like the Grandmasters did. And he's kind of like falling into that what can you say? That power vacuum again. He's like, I want to do something new with the clan. And it just gets more extreme, to the point where now Sub-Zero has become what he didn't like before. He has become the Grandmaster of old. So have Sub-Zero be not corrupt with power, but corrupt with wanting his clan to be on top again, which will probably then lead Hanzo Sashi, I'm going by the games, by the way, or Scorpion, because Hanzo Sashi's dead, isn't he? Yeah, so classic Scorpion is back. It's more like a role reversal. So now Scorpion is the one that's trying to talk down, bring Sub-Zero back down. You're going too extreme. This is what you didn't want before with the Lin Kuei. You wanted a different Lin Kuei. So you could have Scorpion trying to talk Sub-Zero back down, and now the Lin Kuei are going after the Shirai again. So they're doing all these experiments. They're random, and they just happens they come across this one guy who has a bit more willpower than they expected, and they infuse him with this nanotech and the elemental metal element, and now Khrome has come back to bite them in the ass. So this is what I would do with the Khrome character to introduce him. Now, when it comes to Ed Boon not wanting his character, it's only rumour. It could be the fact that we don't know if this character actually has a copyright, and Ed Boon can't touch it. We don't know. I don't know how you look for these things. So that could be one reason why Ed Boon is like, well, hey, no, we're not gonna, we're not getting into that territory. Or it could just be the simple fact that there's too much pride within NetherRealm and Ed Boon that because it wasn't made in-house, that they're not going to touch it. And when it comes to giving the fans what they want, they'll a little bit, just a little bit. I reckon if they wanted that short-term buzz, I reckon that this Khrome character, this accidental character, would be a nice addition. Give him a decent backstory. I've explained mine. I reckon it'd be the best way to go forward, because then it opens up other possibilities as well. Like making the Lin Kuei almost go back to the way they were with the Cyber Initiative, and Sub-Zero kind of like falling into that trap that his grandmasters went into when it comes to trying to improve the Lin Kuei, and they just go too extreme. So now they're just doing experiments now, open experiments. So there we go. That's my Khrome character. Well, my take on the backstory of the Khrome character. Let's get that right. Actually, I should have done this, actually, There we go. I should have done that. I forgot. It's gone. Where are you? Oh, it's gone. Hang on. Where are you? I'll just leave it. Doesn't matter. I'll just go full screen. But so there you go. There's my take on a Khrome character, if there was to bring him in. If anyone wants a backstory, that's my version. I probably might do a write-up on it, and I'll post that and then link it on my Twitter, and then see how far that goes. Oh, Scream Foo's in. I don't know how long you've been. I don't know how much you've been hearing. So there we go. So let's go into the topic that because Scream Foo is here now, so I can talk about Johnny Cage. Now, I don't know, Scream, if you've ever seen or read my take on Mortal Kombat Legacy for Johnny Cage. I called it Mortal Kombat Prelude. So it's like a prelude to the tournament, so I called it Prelude. And I did a Johnny Cage version because when it comes to the Mortal Kombat Legacy series on Johnny Cage, didn't blow me away at all. I didn't really like them. And that's both. I didn't really like both. Because they're making Johnny Cage a failed actor, and I don't like that. You know, especially some top-notch superstar, and everyone seems to be going along the same lines of he's a failed actor. People think he's fake, and people thinking he's fake is fine, but failed actor, I didn't like that. I want him to still be the superstar because it keeps up his persona, his over flamboyant persona. Now, if you're a failed actor, we know in real life that if you're a failed actor, you go into depression. People drink, they get fat, and then you know the news. You know, they go into these people and they do stories and they take the mick out of them. And I'm thinking, if that was the case, and that, you know, they're trying to make the Johnny Cage character as realistic as possible, you know, he wouldn't be the Johnny Cage that we see now. He wouldn't be that. He'd be depressed, fat, wouldn't be able to do anything. Future Boys come in. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. Getting into the Johnny Cage thing now, and I just mentioned that you did a video on my prelude, my Johnny Cage prelude. So I name dropped you as well. So I'm getting into the Johnny Cage now. So yeah, you'd think that in real life, if they went with the failed actor Johnny Cage route, he'd be in depression, he'd be drinking, you know, smoking, you know, getting it with, you know, ladies of the night all night, just wasting his money away. And I don't like the thought of Johnny Cage being that, because everyone sees Johnny Cage as the flamboyant martial arts actor. I mean, if they did go the that failed actor route, then it would be interesting. If it depends how they do it on screen. You know, could it be the way for him to come back? But I'm going to go over my version anyway. Well, thank you. You guys should check it out. My goodness, it was fire. Dave has fantastic Johnny Cage idea. Thanks. It was a really good idea because it kept to the strong spirit of Johnny Cage. You know, I brought in a few elements of Johnny Cage being the way he is, the fact that he's got films to do and he still wants to prove himself as a fighter. So yeah, I'll get into that now. So my version of a Mortal Kombat Legacy episode of Johnny Cage, a prelude, you would have the setting. Right, the setting is an MMA. It's an MMA setting, but think UFC, but it's not UFC. Don't want to get into copyright, but it's a big event going on, and the main event of the night. I think, if I can remember my name, it was it Brian the Crisis Burns, and I forgot that he was the champion, and he was facing off against the challenger. I forgot the challenger's name. I'll just come up with some names, and everyone was there to see this fight. It was built up as this, big fight and everything else, and all the cameras were on the cage, and then all of a sudden, all the cameras go, whoa! You hear the crowd go, oh my God, it's Johnny! Oh my God, it's Johnny Cage! And all of a sudden the camera's like, whoa, Johnny Cage! And they all turn to him. So all the attention has gone to Johnny Cage, and he's coming in. He's got girls on each arm, the cameras and the paparazzi are there, and behind him he's got a couple of agents. His own agencies. Movie agents, not agents as in they've got glasses on and the earpiece. He's movie agents. They got the briefcase and everything else, and you got the owner of this MMA company. He's like, shall I swear? I really want to swear. I did put this in up for kids. Okay, so he goes, oh, for fuck's sake, not him again. because basically Johnny Cage is taking all the attention away from the big fight of the night, and it just so happens that Burns, the champion, he really hates Johnny Cage, and he expresses it in the cage. So he's there like, the camera's on here, and he goes, "He's a fucking fake. He's a fucking fake." So he's getting himself worked up. So Johnny Cage is sitting down, all the cameras on, goes, "Oh, Johnny Cage, what brings you?" He goes, "Oh, I'm here to see a good fight. You know, I'm always into the fighting. I love my fighting and everything else." And, you know, you got the crowd. It's like half the crowd are loving him. They're like, "Yeah." And the other crowd are like, "Ah, you're faking. We don't like you." And this and another. So, so yeah, the cameras are on him. Goes, "Oh, your next film, you know, goes, oh, it's a brilliant film, you know, you should come and see. It's got the best martial arts you'll ever see." And also from the cage, you hear Brian Burns. He goes, "Hey, fake!" He goes, "Why don't you come in? I'll show you some real martial arts, and you're fucking fake, and you're a disgrace." And everyone's like, you know, turns back to Johnny Cage, and they try and get a reaction. And Johnny Cage, get out of here, whatever. But then what I wrote down was, after he sits down and he looks at the cage, he kind of like looks at the cage, and you know, when you get like a tunnel vision and you start to zone out, and you think, "I really want to get in there." He's like thinking about it, like he's in deep thought. He's like, So of course he snaps back out, and you know, the referee's like ready to bring these fighters together, and Brian, he's like doing this. He's like, but he's saying to himself, like, "Gotta fuck him up, gotta fuck him up, gotta fuck him up." So he's talking about the other guy. So he's like, the referee's like, "You ready? You ready? Fight!" Also, they run together, and then Brian just ducks a swinging a punch, and then he comes with a hook, and basically just knocks the guy out within the first few seconds. Everyone's like, "Yeah," and everyone's like, "Is that it?" Everyone's like, "Oh, for God's sake." You know, they spent all their hard-earned money on this main event, and everyone's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." He's like, Brian's like worked up. So Burns is worked up. And he's like looking at the guys and like going, "Is that it? Is that it?" And Johnny Cage's like, "I've only just sat down as well." And everyone's like booing and everything else. So of course the owner comes and goes, you know, tries to like calm the crowd down. He's like, "Hey, everybody, what a punch to end the night. Sorry, everybody." Also, Burns grabs the mic off him and shouts out to Johnny Cage. He goes, "Hey, fake!" And also everyone's like looking again. Everyone's like looking at Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage is stood up, isn't he? So as he's walking out, he turns around. He goes, come on! You think you're something? You think you're something special? You know? Come and fight me! And he turns around, and everyone's like, "Yeah." The bag, you know, the people that don't like him are like, "Yeah, go fight him. Go on, show us what you got." And of course, the owner like grabs the mic back off Burns, goes, "No. I don't want this, because I don't want to be responsible for you know, making a movie star turn him into a vegetable." So of course, like you know, I don't want. Basically, he says, "I don't want any trouble." So goes back to Johnny Cage and the people that are interviewing him. He grabs the mic off there and goes, "Is this thing on?" You know, he goes, you know, turn it up. So of course everyone's like, "Oh, Johnny Cage is going to talk." So it's turned into WWE territory now. So he's like, you really want to fight me? Does everyone want to see a fight? You know, the night has been ended so quick. It's like, does everyone really want to see me fight? And everyone's like, yeah, let's see a fight. So his fans are like, yeah, let's see. And his haters are like, yeah, get your ass kicked, go on. And then his movie agents, come to him and goes, "You can't do this. you've got a film shoot tomorrow. If you get injured, you know, you're going to lose millions and you're going to put everything in jeopardy and you could lose this deal. At this time, Burns in the cage grabs the mic back, goes, come on, fight me, come on. You know, he jumps on top of the cage, goes, come on, fucking fight me, you're fake. So Johnny Cage looks around, everyone's like, yeah, come on. Also, he goes, you want to see a fight? He goes, I'll give you a fight. Drops the mic, starts on it, walking down. Everyone's like, oh, Johnny Cage is going to fight. And Burns is like, yeah, come on. And his agents are like, don't do this. And Johnny Cage, on the way down, he's like saying, you know, there's no lawsuits involved. It's going to be my fault. I'm stepping into there. Your company's safe. You know, it's all on camera, you know. He goes, you know, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all on me. It's all my responsibility. So the owner goes, gets the mic back and goes, turns to Burns and goes, fuck him up. And then walks out. So, of course, on the way down, Johnny Cage is given mitts. He's given his mitts. And, you know, he undoes his top, takes it off. And I think at this stage, I don't have the Johnny Cage tattoo. But if you want to do like something visual, you could have him take it off. And then you see, it says Johnny. So takes it off. And he putting these things on, doing this. And he gets into the cage. And Burns is like, he's like ready. He's ready. He's like, I'm going to fuck you up. And Johnny Cage's like, he's like, okay then. He's doing his thing. He says a few lines. So, of course, the referee's like, because the referee's like a Johnny Cage fan. he's like, and Johnny Cage's like, well, do I want to sign your glove or something? You know, things like that. He goes, I'm ready. And he turns and goes, fight. So, of course, also Burns rushes in. And he's doing all these moves and everything else. And Johnny Cage is covering up. And he's taking the punishment. And it's like Johnny Cage, he moves out of the way and he's really winding up Burns. You know, he's doing all these flamboyant things and he's faking being dazed and things like that. So Burns, being a champion, is no slouch. So I don't want Johnny Cage to have it easy. So I wrote it that Burns is a real good fighter. So he comes in and he literally cops Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage didn't expect it because he's been too flamboyant. It's been a while since Johnny Cage has actually been in a fight, so he's rusty as hell. So he's getting caught and he's getting punched, he's getting uppercut and you know, slammed and kicked. So at this point, he's actually getting his ass kicked, handed to him, and he cuts to the crowd, and you got his haters loving it. They're like, yeah, look at it, and his fans are like really worried, and he's getting choked. He's getting choked, and he's fading. He's fading. He's trying to fight, but he's fading, and it goes back to his agents on the outside of the cage, and they look at each other and they go, he's done. He's done. It's like the film's over, so it's like we're done with him. So they go off. They're done with him. And Burns is at the cage going, break his fucking neck, kill him. You know, as you do in the heat of the moment, you say things like that. And Johnny Cage is like fading, and he sees that he's fading. And as Burns is like, he whispers, because I've evolved my story, so I'm going to do some little changes. So he whispers in his ear, he's like, you're nothing but a fucking fake. And of course, this like you see the anger in Johnny Cage's face. So then at this point, you see Johnny Cage almost fade, but he delivers like an elbow to the ribs, and it actually gets, you know, actually hurts Burns. And then he drops down, he pushes out drops and then like rolls forward, and then Johnny Cage, he goes, "I'll show him to a fucking fake I am." And then all of a sudden Burns is like, tries to attack him. So then Johnny Cage is more focused this time. He's kind of like, his flamboyant nature's disappeared, and now he's in a serious mood. So of course, Brian's coming in, and Johnny's actually dodging and using his speed to dodge, and he's using his skill to dodge. He's flipping over kicks. He's diving under. It's like I even had the idea of Burns trying to land a spinning low kick, and Johnny Cage actually doing the splits, but like sliding under and then coming back up. It's and then flicking Burns' hair. So slides under, gets up, flick. And Burns like, he's just winding him up. So they're getting into it, and then now Johnny Cage says he's there, and he still hasn't really thrown an attack. So during all this fight, he hasn't thrown an attack at all. So he sees that Burns is like, his tank is nearly empty. He's like, so he's losing his energy, and then he goes, "Is that it? Is that all you got?" And he goes, "I'm just going to have to end this right now." He goes, so Burns comes in again, and then he starts countering. So instead of just blocking his attacks, he's now countering. So a cross comes in and he's countering, and Burns tries to do another hook and he ducks or whatever and then counters. So now, which showcases some of Johnny Cage's skills. So he does all the stuff that you see in his films. He goes, because people think he's a fake, he's now doing his movie stuff in the cage in a real fight, and people are seeing this, and his fans are loving it. His fans are loving everything he's doing, and his haters, as we go to the crowd, it cuts to the crowd, and he's doing all this stuff in the cage for real instead of in a film. And even the fans are like looking at you and going, it's like he's turning them, because he's showing that he's not really a fake. He's turning people's minds, because no one has really saw him fight. They're just seeing him as a movie star. So of course all the fans are like looking at you and going, we can't really get angry at him. So they're not going to cheer. They're just like, okay, maybe he's not a fake. So he's turning minds with the stuff he's doing in the cage, which is what Johnny wanted to do. So, right. So getting to the end, the owner is livid on top of the. So he's standing outside the cage and he's banging, going, "Get it! What are you doing? What are you doing?" And Johnny Cage looks and gives him a wink. So he's winding him up as well. Chris German says, "I've got to share everyone. Early rise tomorrow. Rewatch when I get back. That's fine. You'll still be here. Thanks for coming in. Your view is mine." So getting back to it. So Burns like kind of runs it, so it's getting to the end now. And Johnny Cage like eggs him on. And he's like looking at Burns, and all he does is like stick his tongue out. It's just something silly. And he goes, "Who's the fucking fake now?" And Burns like, because he's knackered, he's like, So Johnny Cage gives him like a front kick to the gut, and then what did I put? Something like he brought him down, and also Johnny Cage, right? Now this I did this before. Was it Mortal Kombat X? So before Mortal Kombat X, there's a move that I wrote down, and it's still there, that we see in the game, and it's that backflip kick, that flash kick. So as Burns goes down from the kick, Johnny Cage does a massive backflip kick. So he does the backflip kick, sending Burns flying backwards. And now Johnny Cage is at near the other side of the cage, and he kind of like, he does like a stance. He readies himself like karate, you know, like a karate stance. You know, I can't really get on now, but you see what I mean. And you think, what is he doing in this stance? And Burns is like dazed, and behind him, on the other side of the cage, is the owner going, "What, Dad? Rip his head off!" So of course Johnny Cage gears himself up, so he's like ready, and he's focused, really focused. And he, it's mad, but Burns tries to come in, and then Johnny Cage does his shadow kick. He literally does his shadow kick. So he hits Burns with the shadow kick, sending Burns crashing into the fence, breaking through the fence, and hitting the owner at the same time. And this sends everyone going, what have they just seen? And everyone's like, did you just see that? Everyone's like, I don't know what I saw. It's like, and because don't forget, in this place, there's like strobe lights and everything else. So people are not sure what they saw, but Johnny Cage knows what he's done. So he's hit Burns through the cage, and Johnny Cage is like, he does this. He's like, there you go, and all his fans are like, and his haters are like, whatever, whatever. They're like, yeah, okay. And Burns, he looks knocked out outside, but he wakes up, and in the story that I put, he grabs a chair. So we're getting into WWE territory again. So he grabs a chair, and he runs into the ring, and Cage is like, he's like, yeah. Behind him, Burns comes back up, tries to run it in with the chair, and then Johnny Cage turns around, right? Sees it coming in. As Burns comes in, Johnny Cage does the splits, boom, right in the gonads, and all you hear is everyone like, ooh. It's like a collective, ooh. And also he's like, Burns like, and then in the splits, right, Johnny Cage leans forward and goes, you've just got caged. And then pushes him over. And then Johnny Cage gets back up, and of course, like, the lights are flashing, the photographers and everything else. And then it'll just fade to black, straight to black. And then also the camera would fade back in, but now he's in. We see Johnny Cage in like a changing room. There's no lights on. But the faint light from like outside sources, or from outside the door or whatever, and he's in front of a mirror, and he's like wiping away his blood because he's been scarred, he's been hurt. But it's a different Johnny Cage that we see in real life. Sorry, in films, and he looks at himself in the mirror. And there's like a disappointment in him. And the idea I want for him is that he feels like there's something more that he's missing out on, something more important than just films. And he sees it, he looks at himself in the mirror, and you can see that he's disappointed. He doesn't know where to look. He sees himself, and he's kind of not disappointed at what he sees back at him, but more of like, I don't feel comfortable. There's more to me. And there's a voice, and he hears his voice as he's cleaning himself off, and he says something like, you got a good fight out there. And instead of turning around, he says, as he cleans himself, goes, if you want an autograph, get to the back of the line like the rest of the world. Because he's still got his old cocky talk, thinking the whole world loves him. So he's there wiping himself off, and all of a sudden you hear the voice do like a little laugh, goes, the whole world, huh? Goes, well, what would it be like if there was no world for you to feed your ego? If there was no one left? Also, Johnny Cage was like, he'd get kind of like peed off. He'd bang the sides of the washing area, and he'd turn around, and in the shadow, he'd grab this guy. You can't really see, but he grabs this guy. You can see he's grabbed something. And he goes something like, you going to leave or what? Also, it's like you hear like a fizz, like a... But also, from where his hands are, light would be like static. And he'd be like, Johnny Cage would be like, what the hell? But also the light, a burst of light, and Johnny Cage would come off, and it's Raiden in front of him, all illuminated. So Raiden's illuminated, and Johnny Cage is like, whoa, who are you? So Johnny Cage is like, now got like a concern on his face. So he's like, what the hell are you? And he's doing this because, static electricity. And Raiden says something like, you are needed much more than you think. You just don't realise it yet. And Johnny Cage's like, needed for what? And he goes, I will call upon you soon enough. What is it? Something like the world depends on you and things like that. That sort of talk. I forgot my actual words. It's been a while since I've read my own story. So Johnny Cage look at this guy thinking, okay, right. And Raiden then turns, and then just like a bolt of lightning, gone. And Johnny Cage looks and goes, he's looking, as the camera goes into his face, you hear like a flick, and he goes, well, puts the shades on and goes, shit. And then cuts off. So there we go. That would have been my version of a Johnny Cage legacy episode. So 15 minutes of Johnny Cage showing that he's still the big star, but people still think he's a fake because they martial arts actors, you know who the fake ones are. You know who the ones that can do their own stuff. You got lots of Scott Adkins, Alain Mosi, Tony Jaa. You got the big hitters. Jackie Chan. They all do their own things, and Johnny Cage has kind of fallen into that category of, we think he's a fake, because he's too full of himself. So this idea would it goes through all of that. It shows people that they think he's a fake. He's not a failed superstar, but people still think he's a fake. He's got his 50-50 fans. And then he gets into the fight in the cage, fights Burns, gets kind of beaten up, nearly loses, but then, he can get serious when he wants to. It's just that he's never... if he has been into competition fighting, it's been decades because of his, movie star status. So he's always been doing his movies. So he's very, very rusty on actual combat. So, of course, Burns exposes that because Burns is no slouch. But Johnny Cage, being the well-conditioned person he is, he just outlasts Burns. You know, finds that combative side of him. So during the fight with Burns, he's now showcasing his fighting skills that he does in films, and he can literally do it in real life. That's how skillful he is, and he's turning fans. So of course Raiden notices and tells him, you are needed. So of course now, there you go, Johnny Cage now feels like there's something to him, and the tournament's coming soon. Future Boy says, Dave, I shall be going, brother. Gotta be up early, head to Birmingham. Great seeing you, brother. Always pleasure in the streams. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks, Future Boy. I'm going to be closing off soon anyway, so thanks for coming on. Your view is mine. You can use this for reference as well if you wanted to get into the Khrome character. You know, I like to put forward ideas. You know, you can use the Khrome idea. So there we go. Thanks for coming. So there we go. I think I've gone through the main things. And I can see there's not many people on to chat if they wanted to. So might just leave it there. So there we go. So you've heard my Khrome story, my version of a Khrome backstory, if they really wanted to make him fit and give him purpose. And you've heard my introduction to Johnny Cage in a potential Mortal Kombat sequel, where they could have him as a movie star, not a failed movie star, someone who feels like there's something more. I don't know. Screenthrough has put he's put here. You know my thoughts. He accidentally gets the mark. He would be the superstar. And I did say this on your Twitter post. I says that the mark doesn't just pass over from someone close, but if they did want to go the mark passing over to the next person route, you know, Johnny Cage could accidentally push Mocap off Summit and accidentally kill him. But then I did say, you know, accidental death on set. Johnny Cage would be the accidental murderer. Do you see what I mean? It's like, I don't know about that. It's too much, because then you think Johnny Cage could be exposed anytime. It's just too much to put in his own story. But I mean, I went over one of my other streams of the deception of the mark, where everyone has a power. It's just that they don't know if they don't know they've got it, they're not going to pursue it. Johnny Cage has a power that is in his own lineage that he discovers that's different away from the mark's power. Yeah, it's like you don't want people investigating Johnny Cage on set of a murder. Even though, you know, it's a funny way of doing it. Johnny Cage accidentally killing someone who's got the mark, and then him getting it. So yeah, Johnny Cage discovering his power through his own lineage, and with the fact that everyone, you know, my idea of everyone having a power that they don't know they have, unless they openly discover it. Well, accidents happen. It could be something as simple as say Johnny Cage is like signing something, and you know, like sometimes he's signing things for fans, and he's got all these papers, right? He's got all these photographs, and he's signing and he flings them out to fans. One of them, you can see Mocap. He's just done a session, and he's like leaning over, like a fence or something, you know, and he's like a drop, and he's like smoking or something. He's like, And also Johnny Cage is throwing these things up, and because he's getting a bit peed off, and he's flinging these things. Also, he flings one, and it hits Mocap the back of the head, send him over the railings, and accidentally killing himself. And then Johnny Cage's like, oh, and he rubs his shoulder, and you think, you don't see Mocap literally die, you just see him fall over. And then Johnny Cage's like, oh, and then you know what it is. You could do it in a comical way. Do you see what I mean? You don't have to see the death happen, but you know it happened. So if you wanted to go down that route, I reckon you could do it the comical route. So Johnny Cage didn't actually murder him, but he died because of him. But because it's like slinging paper, there's no one could say that Johnny Cage did it because he was around people, but he's just slinging his signed photographs, and one just hits Mocap quite a distance away. And Mocap just goes flying over. Or he was, ah! And then Johnny Cage's like, oh, what's going on here? And then you realise he's got the mark. So yeah, you got your version of a Mocap cameo. So there we go. I think I'm done. So yeah, there we go. Khrome, giving him a backstory, something that makes sense, something to give the Lin Kuei a bit more of a purpose, but not a purpose, more of a twist, spice them up a bit, because Sub-Zero's kind of like made them honourable, but he's kind of fallen into the trap that the Grandmasters did. To they want to up themselves, screen through. I just like the concept of a superstar, fish out of water story, like I mentioned in my vid. But I'd want him to be a washed-up actor. They're doing that too much, though. They've already done it in films. They didn't do it in the original Mortal Kombat movie. You felt that he was the Lyndon Ashby character. He felt run down. So he feels like he was being washed up because he was being run down. But this washed up character business, I don't know where it come from. Did it come from Legacy? Did it stem from Legacies? Mortal Kombat Legacy? I don't know, but people seem to be using that as a springboard for their own ideas. And I don't like the fact that he's a washed-up actor. I don't like that fact, because again, if you're using real life examples, look at actors now that are washed up. They are washed up. They're drinking, smoking. They've run down. They've gained weight. They've lost their way. So I don't like that idea. I know you say you wouldn't want to be, but I'm trying to go over the fact that people think he is. They want that, and I'm like, why? Why would they want that? It just to have a story of him coming back. It's like, no. Play to his strengths, or have him already up there. Have him already full of himself, and then his arc is he can be serious. He can take things serious. So all the way through, he's cocky. He doesn't take anything serious. And then his arc is he does become serious. He still retains his cockiness, but he knows now that this has a bit more. What can you say? It requires more of his efforts than just being a cocky bugger. So there's something going on that's serious, and there's more at stake. It's that, you know, instead of like an acting gig, there's more. Just like we see in the Mortal Kombat 11 game, Johnny Cage has developed more of a matureness about him. So that would be the arc. That would be his arc. Oh, hang on. Where is he? Oh, you keep retracting them. I know what you mean. I know you put it up. I saw it. Yeah, it worked well with your take. You could do it your way if they wanted to do a comical route and have Mocap come in, accidentally die, and then it's Johnny Cage's fault, so he gains the mark. But again, I don't like the fact of Johnny Cage gaining the mark. I want Johnny Cage to have his own lineage, his own Mayan green energy, because it's kind of become the thing now with his family, with the Cage family. You know, because of Cassie Cage, she develops it. Yeah. That's the good thing about YouTube. You can actually delete your messages and put them back up. Come on, Twitter. You've got to put that edit button, but still retain the previous message so people can read what's been changed. So there we go. Yeah, so Johnny Cage in the sequel would have an arc, but I'd still want him to have his green energy. You know, because then again, it brings in more. It brings in more to the story instead of everyone they have to have a mark to have powers, and you know, you're narrowing the scope. You need to widen that scope. So have everyone have their powers, but the mark just brings it forward quicker. The mark just brings it forward quicker. So you don't have to have what I said before of have the deception be that Shinnok, you know, tries to divert Raiden away from the better fighters. So there we go. Johnny Cage showing everyone that he's not a fake, and catching the eye of Raiden. That's why you could have Johnny Cage coming very late, because Raiden only saw him as an actor, and he thought, no, he's just a movie actor. Because he hasn't proved himself in a fight, Raiden never looked that way. Now that Johnny Cage has been in this cage fight and showcased his skills, Raiden is coming very late and says, okay, there's something to you. I will call upon you soon. So it hasn't given Johnny Cage time to look into this thing. So that's why you'd see Johnny Cage at the beginning of the tournament not think that it's just a gig. Do you see what I mean? So there's a way of doing it. Raiden discovers that Johnny Cage is not a fake and there is something to him, because he caught the eye of Raiden. He caught the eye of Raiden very late. So there we go. So you got the Khrome backstory there, Johnny Cage prelude, a couple of things thrown in there from Scream Fu. So there we go. I'll thank the guys for coming in. Thank you, Scream Fu, for coming in. Your view is mine. And for everyone else, Chris German that come in, Vasi that come in, Future Boy that come in, Lose Life that come in. Thanks for coming in. Your view is mine. And I'll hopefully come back with another topic soon. Don't know when, but thanks for coming. See you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.